In Seattle's grunge scene, one name becomes synonymous with the raw emotion and rebellion of an era. But behind the music and the fame lay a troubled soul and a life cut short in the home right behind me. On April 5th, 1994, Kurt Cobain commits suicide.
In 1991, Kurt Cobain bursts onto the scene with his band Nirvana's second album, Nevermind, initiating a grunge rock revolution. The following year, he marries fellow musician Courtney Love. Their daughter is born 6 months later. Cobain's struggles with fame, addiction, and mental health are well documented. On April 5, 1994, he dies of a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his home on Lake Washington Boulevard in Seattle. Cobain's body is discovered 3 days later by an electrician working on the premises. The music world is shaken by the news, and its impact is felt by fans around the globe. Cobain's death sparks conversations about mental health and the pressures of fame. His influence on music and culture will never be forgotten. Cobain spoke to a generation and continues to inspire today. Stay tuned because we'll learn more about Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. I'll also talk briefly about Cobain-related sites in Seattle. Don't forget to check out Today in History in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There's a link in the description. I was a junior in high school in 1991 when Nirvana exploded. I had never heard anything quite like it. Listening to Nirvana in 1991, it almost seemed like I was hearing the electric guitar for the first time. It was so different from the hair metal my generation had endured in the late 80s. It was a revelation. The band brought a raw edge to its sound that had been missing in the music world. Nirvana changes rock and roll much the same way the Ramones had done with punk rock in the 1970s. Looking back on Cobain's death now, 30 years later, I guess what strikes me is how short all of this was. Nirvana's time in the spotlight was only about 2.5 years. Cobain was only 27 years old when he died. That is so crazy to think about. I was living in Italy at the time, and of course it was huge news there when he died. John Lennon, who also died too soon, was 40 when he died in 1980. Lennon seems like an old man comparatively. But Lennon had also had the opportunity to produce a mountain of music by the time he died. Cobain was just getting started. Interestingly, another Seattle music icon, Jimi Hendrix, was also just 27 when he died. It's yet another tragic case where a brilliant musician's life ended way too soon. Seattle's Museum of Pop Culture, located right next to the Space Needle, has an extensive exhibit of memorabilia celebrating Nirvana's music and history. It is housed in its own room within the museum. It includes letters, contracts, and photographs, including personal snapshots taken by the band. If you're a Nirvana fan, it's definitely a must-see. The Seattle home where Cobain died is in a serene, upscale neighborhood near Lake Washington. The walk to the home from a nearby bus stop was quite pleasant, with some beautiful views of the lake along the way. Next to the home, visitors can walk around a small park where fans have assembled unofficial makeshift memorials on 2 different park benches. It is an interesting place and worth a quick visit if you're a Nirvana fan. Well, if you like what you've seen here today, please be sure to like and subscribe, and know that you can see another great Mr. Lewis video right here. And there's another one right here. Thanks for watching.